Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Vivian begged Philip to come out of bed at the Salem Inn and assist her in stopping Xander's attempts to surrender Titan to the DiMera family. "I'm reconsidering my decision," Philip remarked. Vivian was concerned and cautioned Philip against ceding his birthright to Xander. Philip said, "My hesitation is entirely related to his wife and has nothing to do with my half-wit brother." Vivian gave an eye roll. Philip said, "The woman is paralyzed. I believe Xander has a paralyzed brain. Why would he sacrifice Titan for a little, possibly ineffective liquid vial?" Vivian said. Vivian maintained that because Sarah had chosen to wed Xander, she was entitled to whatever happened to her. Philip jokingly said, "You and that tender heart of yours. Not to mention that you own Titan," Vivian emphasized. Philip didn't agree. Vivian used Victor's letter as evidence. "I am aware that this is not only what Victor desired, but also what I would have received if I had not allowed my fixation with Chloe Lane to control me," Philip remarked. "Exactly," answered Vivian. When Xander entered the DiMera living room, Kristen was enjoying a cup of tea. Xander was questioned by Kristen if he had succeeded in getting Philip to rescind his injunction. Xander declined. Though he was concerned that Philip would drag out the matter for years, Xander contended that Philip's injunction would not stand up in court. Xander whispered, "And I'll be damned if I'm going to watch Sarah spend another one of Victoria's birthdays in that bloody wheelchair." Instead, Kristen asked Xander what he was thinking of. Admired Days, B&B, General Hospital, or other soap operas. Participate in the discussion on our SC boards. To interact with fans and start a conversation right away, click here. Easy. "For genuine, Philip must die," Xander remarked. "So you want to kill Philip in order to grease the wheels of justice?" Kristen inquired. Xander said that despite being his brother, Philip had been a constant cause of sorrow. "Don't you think this is a bit extreme? Really, are you ready to kill your brother in cold blood?" Kristen inquired. "Obviously not. However, I'm rather certain that you are," Xander stated. Kristen chuckled incredulously. "I take it you want Titan?" Xander inquired. "Sure, as much as you desire that serum. Why don't you take the initiative?" Kristen said. If something happened to Philip, Xander contended, the police would point the finger at him. "The same is true for me as well," Kristen shot back. Xander sighed and adjusted his strategy. Xander brought up the fact that over the years, Kristen had requested him to kill several people. "I apologize. Though not so much that I would kill for it, I do want Titan," Kristen remarked. Xander whispered, "So we're right back where we started." Xander was instructed by Kristen to stop Philip in another means. Tate woke up beside Sophia in bed in the penthouse and grinned at her. Sophia remarked, "So, that happened." When Tate's family found out she had stayed over, Sophia asked him what he intended to tell them. "They had probably all gone for the day," Tate observed, because no one had knocked on the door. Sophia remarked, "So this was good timing." "Certainly," Tate muttered. Sophia interrupted Tate to remark that she had not anticipated it either, even if he had not intended to sleep with her when he had asked her over. "However, I'm happy it did." "Are you?" Sophia inquired. "I'm quite happy with what transpired. I have no regrets," Tate stated. Sophia grinned in relief. Sophia's phone beeped while Tate kissed her. Sophia moaned as she looked at her phone. Sophia clarified that her buddy had to fill in for her after her mother had called her home. Tate went to fend for breakfast while Sophia contacted her mother. Tate saw Holly's text as he picked up his phone as he passed past the living room. Tate was still gazing at Holly's text when Sophia finished getting dressed, talking to her mother on the phone, and joining him in the living room. "What's wrong?" Sophia inquired. Tate claimed that everything was okay while putting his phone in his pocket. After saying goodbye with a kiss, Sophia departed with Tate. When Holly noticed that Tate had not replied to her text from the night before, she sighed in the Kiriaki's living room. Holly and Sarah welcomed each other cordially as Sarah walked into the room. She briefly summarized what had happened in Paris when Holly inquired about it. Holly went on to say that she had now come to terms with Nicole and Eric's deceit and had forgiven them. "That brings me great joy. And for your benefit as well as theirs," Sarah added. Holly was reminded by Sarah that she could chat to her if she needed to. Holly inquired about Fiona's disclosures. "That's terrible. It must have ruined Xander," Holly remarked. Sarah gave a nod in agreement. "He is now more driven than ever to assist me in walking once more. He's making every effort to obtain that serum," Sarah remarked. "Which serum?" Holly inquired. Sarah explained the serum and Kristen's request for the medication to Holly. "So Xander is just going to hand over his family business to Kristen?" Holly inquired. "He was. Then his brother appeared, though," Sarah remarked. Sarah described the events involving Kristen and Philip. "I think it's a bad idea that Xander would sacrifice the entire Titan Empire for a serum that might or might not work. Furthermore, considering our past interactions with Kristen, I believe anyone might understand why I wouldn't put my trust in her," Sarah stated. "However, what if you missed the opportunity to use the serum and it actually did work?" Holly shot back. Sarah shrugged and said she had been getting used to living in a wheelchair. Sarah remarked, "I just appreciate every day that I get to spend with my husband, my daughter, and people I care about like you." Holly remarked, "You have such a great attitude." Sarah mentioned that she hoped to maintain her optimism. Sarah acknowledged that Xander was her main concern. "He truly wants nothing more than to get his hands on that serum so I can walk again," Sarah remarked. When Sarah came back to the living room after checking on Victoria, she noticed Holly glued to her phone. Holly clarified that she was anticipating a text message. Holly remarked, "You don't have to hear about my Tate drama. As long as it has nothing to do with alcoholic mothers-in-law, it's a welcome diversion," Sarah remarked. Sarah was informed by Holly about the events involving her and Tate. "I regret certain things I said and did. And I ended up splitting up with Tate," Holly stated. Maggie had informed her, Sarah remarked. "In any case, Grandma, last night she urged me to get in touch with Tate." Holly added, "I texted him to ask if he wanted to talk." Tate had not replied, and Holly informed Sarah that she was afraid he would never get back to her. He might not have noticed the words. "Would you like to give him a call?" Sarah inquired. Although Tate had not answered the door, Holly acknowledged that she had visited his home. Holly remarked, "Perhaps he simply doesn't want to interact with me anymore." Sarah cautioned Holly against making snap judgments. Sarah remarked, "I have no doubt that he will be willing to speak with you and try to resolve the situation." Holly's phone beeped with a text message from Tate as she wished out loud that he would reply. Tate reflected on the times at the penthouse when Holly had shown him kindness prior to her prying into Brady's room. The door was knocked on by Holly. Tate apologized for not replying to Holly's text earlier and invited her inside. "It's all right. You must have been busy at the time," Holly inquired. Tate turned his head away and inhaled deeply. "I need to share something with you," Tate stated.